Hello, everyone, and welcome to Heads and Dovetails with myself, of course, Jill Harvey Bush, and as I always say, the lovely Jamie Hubbard. Jamie, how are you this week?
Good morning. Playing you up with my little finger over the camera. We have to. I'm good, thank you. We have to. Obviously, we're doing a Zoom, and I have to. I'm just telling the people, and I have to okay it. So I wobble my finger over the camera so that Jill sees that I'm pretty good actually with everything we've just been through. We've just been chatting about. Yeah, everything's really good. Thank you. And
Good.
how are you?
Well, as I said, if anybody's been following me on Instagram, they'll know the saga of our cat, Silvio. And if anybody has cat lovers who is an outdoor cat, and we've got two cats, which makes it even harder because one wants to come and go, of course, with a cat flap, and then you've got to keep the other one in. Basically, Silvio got in a fight. There's a tabby that just will not come into our garden. So you see them rolling around and you hear the caterwauling mauling going on and fur flying. Anyway, he got an injury and it got infected. And because he's a long-haired cat, long-furred cat, we couldn't see until we looked at him and thought, that cheek really looks swollen. And then when he took a swipe at it, basically all the skin came away because it was a horrible abscess underneath. So we're on trip 4, which was this morning, which is why I was a few minutes late getting back. And we're slowly getting there. But he's learnt how to take his cone off. It's a Velcroed cone. They're called buster collars, I think, for cats rather than those really solid ones that dogs tend to have. And I think he must have done it by accident, trying to squeeze through somewhere. Because, of course, when they've got the collar on, the whiskers can't feel the width of which is how they squeeze through,
Yes.
isn't it? Cats feel by whiskers that, oh, I can get through that gap. Well, obviously, his whiskers are enclosed in the cone, and I think he obviously tried to squeeze through a gap. And because it's Velcroed, he must have caught the hard edge because there's a bit that sticks out from the Velcro, and obviously that ripped off. So then he's obviously thought, oh, I can get my cone off. So it's been an interesting 2 weeks now, Jamie. Vet this morning. He's removed the stitches, which I think were annoying him, like they would us. You
Mm,
know, you get a
yeah.
stitch, don't you? It starts to heal. The stitch was loose, the scab underneath had come away, and all the rest of it. So luckily, he's taken the stitches out, and we're now going to try him without the cone. But he's still got a little bit of infection there, Archie said this morning. So he's back on 5 days of antibiotics, and we all know how animals love to take pills. So I have 5 days of fun going
Good
on.
fun.
But
Oh
yeah,
dear.
so yeah, other than that, life is life and we're managing, thank you. We're all right. So, but you wanted to talk about something. What were you going to talk about today?
Well, you get you and everybody else that listens. So that's Alex and a couple of others probably. Um, we had a waterbed incident. Did I mention it last podcast?
No. What have
Didn't
you got
I?
a waterbed?
Yes, we've got a waterbed.
Oh
We had a
no.
oh oh Jill.
Oh no, I hate them. I feel seasick on them.
Well well
And don't you have to have a
anyhow.
reinforced floorboards or
No,
ceilings or okay,
no.
so I didn't realize you had a waterbed. No.
Yes. So I sit here when we do a podcast and I've got this lovely, which isn't really a proper headboard thing behind me. This is a Sven Dryland desk top.
Right.
This and the two what I saw are now sort of bedside tables is part of a desk. And those desks
Oh,
are Swedish rosewood and that's part of my
that's your
pension.
headboard.
That's
Oh,
my
okay.
pension. That's
Oh,
what it's
wow.
oh yeah, that's
Wow.
current figures between 9 and 12,000.
Wow. Don't tell people they'll
Rosewood.
come and nick your bed. Or at least they'll nick the bed head.
They'd have to move the water bed
Headboard.
first.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
it's
Okay.
sort of looks like a headboard, but it isn't. It's a
Yeah.
desk. It's beautiful orangey
Yeah. It looks gorgeous. I can
rosewood.
see
It's a
with
lovely
the,
colour.
yeah, with the
Um,
grain in.
I woke up a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, probably. Oh, Jill, it might be 4 weeks ago. Anyhow,
Right.
I was asleep. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was just like, cuddly. I was lying on my left hand side, and my hand, I was dreaming a bit, and my hand was just like, oh, something feels a bit wet. It's a bit, and I went to the edge, and I was just like, oh no, no. Now we'd had a leak last year and a leak the year before. Bearing in mind these mattresses last about, they say about between 10 years and 12 or something. we've had this one nearly 20 years, this waterbed mattress.
Right.
Now, if you think of the cost of a mattress, if you planned properly, how many mattresses would you buy the way they sell them have in 20 years?
Well,
Three.
yeah, but not being funny,
Yeah,
Jamie,
but
we do, they
everybody,
say
yeah,
they do the, oh no, you've
I
got
know.
to change your mattress every, and when you
Of
talk
course
to
they do. Of
people who do know about
course they do.
mattresses, they say it's marketing rubbish,
Of course it is.
basically.
Well, this thing has lasted 20 plus
Right.
years. And I felt this leak and I was just like, this isn't right. This is more than just a little leak. And basically the waterbed mattress, which is like a big hot water bottle, sits inside a plastic liner around the wooden frame. It's a wooden frame, it's a traditional hardwood
Right.
um, frame construction. And it's like 8 inches deep, and that sits on a wooden sort of oversized pallet underneath that's very structural. It spreads the load evenly across the
Hmm.
floor. So it isn't as bad as people think. Anyhow, I woke up and I was just like, Lynn, this is a bit more serious than I thought. And switched the lights on. I said, oh,
We're
flipping it.
sinking.
We've got to. And she said, well, I'll go and sleep in the other room. I said, no, Lynn, it's not. No, we've got to drain it. We've got to drain it now. So I went down and I've got the hose pipe. I've got a specially fitted hose pipe that fits, and we siphoned it off into the bath. Took 2.5 hours to drain it because I siphoned it rather than pump because I hadn't got time to find the pump. I just wanted to get something sorted. And you had to suck on the end. I sort of primed the pipe, sucked on the end, put it in the bath, and then one of the girls was, I think it was Lucy, was holding, or Melody was holding the in the bed to make sure it didn't lift up, so it stayed in the bottom, but at an angle so that it didn't go square on and suddenly starve
Start.
itself. And
Yeah.
yeah, so one held it in there, and we just had. So anyhow, I'm going to try and condense this. I've been um, I decided that I ought to give Lynn a chance and said, right, if we just put the airbed in here for a couple of weeks inside this frame, we'll put an airbed in, we'll manage on that for a couple of weeks, and I'll start researching mattresses. What do you want? Do you? And she said, oh, I said, because you've said a number of times, you don't like the waterbed. You don't like sitting up in it. You don't like this about it. You don't like that about it. And I said, right, okay, let's look at other mattresses. Wow. How much do you want to spend?
Oh, exactly. I
How much?
know.
And yeah, and one man's, oh well, you can get a good one from IKEA, and is another man's, oh no,
Mm-mm, no.
don't even buy the best from IKEA. You need to go so and so. And I had got a number of people telling me, and the highest one I think I was told was £1,800 just for the mattress.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just like, oh okay, wow, that seems a lot of money, 1,800 quid. Bearing in mind, a water bed, because it's water, doesn't wear out. Yes, you might get a leak, which has happened to us 3 times, but telling us basically that was the end of this one going. So I should have reacted to that first one. Anyhow, it's the same. It supports you. It supports really well. It's warmed. It's not cold water. It's heated. Um,
It just reminds me of a Steptoe and Son episode. That's showing my
oh
age.
yes,
Is it Harold, isn't it? The son has
yes,
a waterbed and brings a woman back. I mean, would never, brings a woman back and it's the waterbed. Just remember, sorry, that came to
yeah,
mind,
yeah.
Jamie, when you're talking.
Well, look,
Anyway,
well, look.
go on.
Uh, I then so what I noticed then was neither of us were happy, not just on an airbed, on the fact that we were both so used to the warmth, and it isn't hot. You're not
Mm,
boiling. I still wear pajamas at night because I'm up and out doing the
yeah,
night thing, whatever's going on. But you can turn it up and down. So it's thermostat control. You can turn it up and down to where you want. So in the summer you can turn it cooler, and in the winter you can turn it a bit warmer.
yeah.
So it is good. So did a lot of research, and anyhow, over those few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I found that I was getting worse. So the old arthritis thing I used to have, I
It's coming
found
back.
my back was seizing up a bit, my legs weren't happy, my hands weren't happy, and I was just like, this is I think this could be one of the reasons why I've managed without medication for so long, by keeping the muscular skeletal,
Mm,
I'm keeping it warm at night
yep.
is obviously a benefit to me. So I said, I'm sorry. I said, I've looked. I said, how much do we want to spend? I said, because I've had a plan. So I wrote all this down. We've got a king size bed. I said, if I reduce it to a double and cut 6 inches off the footboard and the headboard and bring it in 6 inches, it becomes a double bed rather than
A
a
king.
king. Um,
But then you have
if
all
I,
the sheets and that for a king, don't you?
yeah, which is great because it's good for the waterbed because they tuck in better.
Right, okay.
So that's a good thing. The quilt overhangs the sides more. Great, that's a good thing. It keeps the heat in. I then started to find somebody in Australia who uses his waterbeds as part of his central heating system for his house. It's a part of an allowance for his heating system. He's got 3 bedrooms. He's got a waterbed in all three. He has his radiators really low for his heating really low for upstairs because they do provide some warmth. Some warmth comes off them. So, and then I went into it and I've insulated the thing anyhow. So I've insulated, I've done this, I've done that. We were told how much they would cost years ago, and it was something like £1 a week, 30 years
So
ago.
you've bought when you say you've reduced the size, are you repairing the waterbed? Is that what you're saying? Or you're
No, I
buying a
bought a
new
new
water?
mattress,
Right.
a new mattress and a new liner, 6 inches smaller like a standard
But a
waterbed double.
new waterbed mattress, not a, because I'm thinking a normal mattress that I would sleep on.
Yes, a waterbed
So you've got
mattress. So,
waterbed. Right, okay. Sorry, just
yeah,
clarifying.
and then yes, and then I cut the frame down.
Right,
I cut the wooden frame down to buy to then get a liner, but I cut it. I was a bit crafty. I left it a little bit longer because I've insulated it all. I've
right.
insulated it all with that silver air bubble
Yeah,
wrap
I know what
sort
you
of,
mean. Yeah.
yeah. And we're sort of I'm sort of in shock. I know I've done the maths already. I've probably taken it from on the old heater. I bought another heater as well. So I've got a modern heater under it rather than a 30-year-old heater. I've
Oh,
probably
so the
bought,
heater is under the bed, not like a
yes,
thermostat in the water like you'd
no,
have in a
no,
an
that would
aquarium.
electrocute you.
That's yes, I was just well, shows what I know about
So
waterbeds.
yes, that the heater lies underneath the liner for the bed. So it's like a
Right.
chipboard, big board.
Okay.
Then the heater goes on there. But I've actually got 2 heaters now because I
Yes, but then
bought
what happens when it leaks? Don't you get electrocuted then?
no, because the water stays inside the liner.
Right. Okay. I'm just thinking of every eventuality here,
They've
Jamie.
already done all of that. It's
Right.
safe. We're okay. Um, I've actually bought the cost of running this thing from I don't know what it was, but if it was £1 a week 30 years ago, I've now bought it down to between 23 and £26 a year to run.
Wow.
Now, when you think of heating systems and when you think of electric blankets and all sorts of
Yeah.
things, to have a heated bed for 20 something a year is huge saving. We don't have the heating. We didn't have the
Yeah.
heating on in this room anyhow
Yeah.
because it was pointless
We
because
much
this
prefer a
room's
cool bedroom as well.
so
So
yes. So actually it's anyhow, we're back. It's hot. The good thing about it that I've done, I'm going to do a video on it if I'm going to if I
so did
try and
you
get
have
it.
to so you've bought it in the UK when you say you found this man in
Yeah, yeah.
the so you can still get
They're
them.
still going. They're still going. People still buy
You
them.
are more than welcome to them. I
Have you
just can't.
have you
Yes, I
slept in?
have.
Have you? Where?
Well, I haven't slept very well on it. Let's
Ah,
put it that way.
too wobbly.
When we were crew, we
Yeah.
it was a real surprise when we went into a hotel, and it was oh gosh, it was the worst 3 nights of my life. I ended up sleeping on the floor. I
Oh,
just
Jim.
found it. I just couldn't cope with it. It was not for me. Let's put it that way, Jamie.
Yeah.
It just was not for me. So
The kids don't like it. The
no.
Lucy or Mel, they'll get on it. It's like, oh no.
Oh no.
But
No. I can't
um,
sleep on them.
it's really supportive. It's Okay, so nowadays, so not when I bought it, but nowadays, and it was I suppose it was a trendy thing back in the
Oh, it was very
mid 90s.
trendy. Well,
Mid
it was
90s,
was trendy, I would
early
say. If you
90s,
think of Steptoe and Son when they first came out, that was probably 70s,
70s.
80s.
Yeah, so
And
20-year cycle.
I was crew 70s, 80s. So
Okay,
that's
so it
when
was
I
back
would have,
then.
it was back then.
What
I
country
think
was it, Jill?
it was the United States.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, what the hell is this? A bit of a
Yeah.
shock. And no, tried. I mean, at first we all thought, oh, this is great, let's all. No, I got
Well,
no sleep. I just, oh, not for
yeah.
me. So when you say waterbed to me, no thanks. I'll sleep on the floor.
Oh, it's well,
Give me and a
you,
hot water bottle is all I need with my normal mattress.
yeah,
I think if we changed our mattress, we'd probably go for, I think there's a company called Natural Mat now, which is all wool and, I mean,
yeah,
expensive. And I will admit, we went to one B&B, a friend's B&B, and we stayed there and we both had the best night's sleep. And the owner said, yeah, the one thing I was going to invest in was really good quality mattresses and good
okay,
quality pillows, etc. And she said, everybody who stayed, she said, I had a German couple came to stay. He never used to sleep very well. So they
yeah.
only booked in for like 3 nights and they asked if they could stay 2 weeks. And he comes back every year because he sleeps so well on the mattress. And they wanted to
And
know what the mattress was.
it's a wool
And
one.
I think I don't know what it was at the time, but I've just been looking because I'm very much, as you know, into wool now.
Yeah,
And I can see there's a lot more natural, fibers and fabrics. And in fact, the company's very near us, I discovered when I was doing my research. I thought, oh, it's just there, sort of thing. It's
yeah.
a couple of miles you could cycle to it. But no, she had invested, and I think she'd paid like for the mattresses, something like £1,000 each, because as she said, if people get a
Yeah.
really good night's sleep, and everybody without fail in her visitors book had commented about what a good night's sleep. And it just shows if you spend the money,
I know, and
find
I
the right
get that,
mattress.
and
Yeah.
that's
But if
what
you
that
have
was.
the money, let's be honest,
Well,
let's
yes,
if you
that was
have the
part of
money.
my dilemma.
Yeah.
Was I wasn't going to spend, or let's put it another way, I wasn't going to waste money on a cheap mattress that
Yeah.
wasn't going to deliver.
Correct.
I already know that waterbed for us delivers.
Yeah.
And actually, this was 240 quid. That's all I've spent.
Yeah.
So when you look at what I've spent, it's not a lot of money. Yes, it's vinyl, and yes, but it's covered. There are a lot of covers on this thing before us. So that's all goes on. But I found some lovely mattresses, and I was just like, oh, good grief. Because I was thinking, no, forget IKEA. I found a couple of ones. There was one that was pretty good. I even looked one was pretty good up Leicester Way, a bedding company up there, and there was something like 9 layers,
Mm,
separate layers of things within their mattress. I thought, well, that
mm,
looks good. We'll
mm.
go and try that. And then I just wrote down, okay, go to Leicester do this, and then I put, well, that's going to be about 30 quid petrol to do that. So I wrote that down and added the 30 quid to the. I was like,
Mm.
"Crikey, we're gonna," and then I thought, well, what do the Japanese do? What are the Japanese methods of? So I looked into the
You in
Japanese
Japan?
futon, and I thought, yes, I know. Well, different areas of the world do things, and you've got to look at it, haven't you?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so the only place I could find was down blooming southeast of London, where I could actually go and look at one and see it, and they look great. There were lots of layers, different layers of
Mm,
fabric and wool. And then as it comes to them, rather than having a border around the edge like we typically have a border, they sort of sew in and get sewn sort of flat on the edge. So you
mm.
know what I mean, like a prayer. If you
Yeah,
pray, you hands like that. And I thought, okay, that's different. So that you can roll them up and nothing for. And I
that's
thought,
right.
oh, okay, this all makes sense. So I looked at those and I was thinking, hang on. So how much? And I was just like, oh, okay. I did that and I thought, and then because I was feeling achy, I just thought,
Do something.
we've got to go down the waterbed route again. And Lynn was just like, yep, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when you see
um,
the benefits health-wise, then absolutely, I can see why you do it, Jamie.
yes.
It's everybody's different. Everybody wants different things. But I think, just talking to you, I think we ought to, companies ought to open, or a B and b ought to get in with lots of different companies and
Oh,
say,
crikey.
as a B&B, can I have that mattress here and that
Yeah.
mattress there and that mattress in this room and this mattress in this room? And actually, could I have a king, two singles that are bolted together, but let's have two different mattresses. And
Yes.
then I'll do a deal with you. So if people say to them, where can I try this? Well, you can book in for a night with this B&B and see how you get
Yes.
on. Because it's not
Ex
till you sleep
that
on
would
it
work.
that's fine. And then as a B&B, I will refer them to you. If they buy one of the mattresses, then I don't know, you get a commission or an affiliation, or I sell the mattress and
Yes.
buy a new one, And I think her name was Eileen, said he'd even offered to buy the mattress and ship it back to Germany because he knew it. He slept really, really well on it. So just listening to you, you kind of think, actually, why don't people? There must be
I know.
somewhere,
It should be. Should.
or a company, I don't know if they're Dreams or Benson Beds or whatever the bed companies are, that say, right, this is our B&B. They could set it up, our
Yeah.
B&B, these are our
Yeah.
mattresses, come in, and if you think this is the one you like, stay for a night at the B&B. There you go. You see, I'm an ideas person, Jamie. Off I go. Oh, that's a good idea, Jill. And then I
Well.
have to go, whoa, now let's think it through.
Yeah. I mean,
That's being an ideas person.
I
No,
would.
that's not going to work.
I did like the Japanese one. I
Yeah,
did like that, and it would have suited certain things because this, as I mentioned, the bed before, it
yeah,
would have made it easier for us to free up this so that I could let this go one of the days
yeah.
because I don't really need it to. It's mine. It's personal. So
But
sorry,
it's
sorry,
also
tax man. It's mine.
but it's
It's not the
also
business.
about if you could try it and they don't have springs in, futons. So
Well,
we've got into
it,
this thing. Maybe we're going all the way back, Jamie, to,
yes,
Elizabethan
yes,
times. And I don't mean straw, but springs not being in it, we're looking at more natural fabrics in it, all that type of thing. And that's what I presume in futons, there aren't any springs,
yes, it
otherwise
is.
you'd be able to
That's
fold
it.
it up.
No springs,
So
just all different fabrics, and I
yeah.
didn't. So then, so oh crikey, this is a whole thing. Sorry, Jill. Beds. Um, this is going to be the title, isn't it? Jill's making a note of the title. Bed. Um,
From beds too, so we have
I
to
then,
get something else in.
Jill, I then started looking at quilts. Oh my life.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh my life. I
And
can't
again, the
believe it.
cost.
I can't believe it. I found this. I've gone through them all. I've looked at lots, and I've been looking at wool ones, pure wool inside, and whatever,
Mm,
and they are. There's some beautiful. But if you think about it, though, this is a massive. This is a huge part of our life that we sleep on our
correct.
beds.
And yet
And yet it's one of those things that we'll just walk into a showroom and go, yeah, we'll have that one. Because
yep.
basically it's our budget that tells us what we can afford. They're dictating
And yet,
how we
it's the one
sleep,
thing,
really.
correct? When you have a really good night's sleep, we know it's good for mental health. We know it's good for the body. We know it's good for the brain. We know that we get up, we're raring to go. We're
Yeah,
refreshed when you slept on a good bed. We have various quilts, and we've got a duck and down, I must admit. And
yeah,
that we didn't buy it. My godmother had bought it. She then died, and I got the quilt. I don't know if I got the quilt, but we have the quilt, and we love it. Jamie. It's fluffy.
yes,
It's not, well, it's chemicals again, and I'm getting very passionate looking at, is it polyester? Is it,
yeah,
acrylic? Is it this? And you
yeah.
think the
Well,
toxins, we're sleeping in this
yes,
stuff, we're sleeping in it, and all the toxins are being released.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you just think, wow, actually, the
Well,
more you can go down a rabbit hole, and we were talking to friends
huge.
last
And
week about plastics, and you can end up going down a huge rabbit hole. In fact, I was talking about compost last night. I was helping out down at the village hall. They had a gardening experts night, and my neighbour, I'm digressing a bit, my neighbour said, oh, we need some help, Jill, and could you come down, taking the money on the door? And she said, actually, I think you'll be really good at selling raffle tickets. And I just thought, oh God. And she said, some people just don't have the knack or don't really know what to
no,
do. So I wondered if
we
you would mind. She said, having seen how you were training, you're obviously a real people's person. I thought, oh, now I've really landed myself in it. And they were the people that I had made as well. She'd asked, would I make a willow raffle prize? So
yeah,
I'd done that. I'd made a dragonfly, and I made some willow garden supports. So I ended up, anyway, the whole point being,
Yes.
I ended up talking to a lady there who came, Katie, the expert, on compost and how much plastic you find in compost. So, yeah, you can go down
Yeah.
huge rabbit holes, Jamie. We were ending up going
Yeah.
down a rabbit hole with another lady standing there going, I had no idea. So,
I know it's scary,
can't get
isn't it?
away
It's
from it.
scary.
Yeah.
Going back to the mattress, and one of
Yes.
the things I have done since being in there is our windows being wider open for the last week,
Right.
so that if there is anything coming off it,
Toxic.
yeah, there's draft. So that was the important part of it. Going back to quilts quickly, crikey, they're beautiful. Some of them are
Mm.
absolutely. So I'm going to get. So they do these 3-in-1s, and we had a 3-in-1. We never really used it
Yeah.
all three. Well, the two together.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to get a summer one, and spend on the summer one what I might have done spending on a 3-in-1, which is like a double that you put together.
Yes. Yeah. We've got
And then
those.
I think in the winter I might get another one. Um, but oh wow, the rabbit hole I got down on there was I looked at duck. Yes,
Yeah.
well,
Duck and down.
it'll
Yeah.
probably be a goose and down.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So
Goose down. Yeah.
yeah, so it'll be a goose and down. And I think I'm looking at sort of 85% feather and the rest is down. I now know that the more down that's in it, the price goes higher. I
Of course.
found I found an eider duck down.
Which is where the word
Eider,
eider downs came from.
yes. Well,
If
an
you're old
eider,
enough to remember when we had eider downs on
yes.
beds.
Well, an
Oh,
eider
wow.
duck down quilt from £4,000 to £8,000. They can't guarantee how much it'll be because of collecting the down
Um,
from their ducks. And I'm like, I said to my
wow.
mom, I said, and Lynn, I said, sorry, I am not buying either down quilt because that's it might be the most fabulous thing ever, but there is, you know,
But that's the kind of thing, where you go somewhere, you'd love to just have, that's the holiday, isn't it? A couple of nights with literally with a quilt like that, with a lovely mattress, you get the good night's sleep, and the difference is huge. And it does then make you think,
well,
okay,
yes,
rather than
that's
popping
and
in into somewhere like IKEA or any other supermarket
yes,
where they're just picking up a pillow and picking up this. And again, it's people don't change their pillows enough
no,
because particularly if they're the foam ones
I
and the
know
mold that can collect that people don't realize that can collect in
moisture.
those. Yeah, because the moisture from the head goes
It's not
through.
good.
And admittedly, Jamie, I own up that I then cut a pillow open just to have a look. I took one and thought, okay, having read
Did
it, I
you?
cut one of these foam pillows up. It was disgusting. Consequently,
Oh,
they went in the bin.
yeah,
But
yeah.
again, you're going, it's off, off we go to the tip with it. If people are allergic, that's the other problem, is my niece can't use them because she's allergic to, I mean, I used to be allergic to dust
Yeah.
many years ago, and those were the days when we had blankets, and my mum had to make a cotton blanket cover to put the blankets in so that I
Oh,
didn't
good call.
have a didn't react. I suppose it's
Yeah.
a form of the quilt, really. So I didn't react to the dust, and she was told, give me a foam um, kind of pillows because the dust was what was causing me, the house dust mite was causing me to react. So it's a
Oh,
whole,
it's
to use it, it's
massive.
it's not a duck down hole, it's a rabbit hole that you go
It's
down. It's
huge.
massive, but again, that's why I'm very much looking into wool and using wool as much as
Yeah.
I can or cotton. But then everybody will say, well, there's environmental things with that. You just think, at least it
It is
biodegrades.
it isn't easy, is it? I'm now looking, so I'm looking at a quilt and I'm going to get a wool bedspread. But
Nice.
where do I get a nice wool bedspread? Because I tell you what, I've found, and I'm thinking about getting it. There's somebody got an outlet on selling on eBay because I like buying off eBay.
Yeah.
New things by that are seconds
Yeah.
from quite well-known
Yeah.
designers. But there's a flaw in the fabric. Who cares? There's a
Who
flaw
cares?
in the fabric.
No. exactly.
It's so I might get there's a lovely I've forgotten the name of the designer, Italian designer, and there's a lovely woven wool bedspread, greens and tartany
Well,
sort
if
of
you
plaid.
follow Eleanor, the lady who makes the coffins, she gets some
Yes,
amazing wool fabric now. If you
does
have a
she?
look, she actually covers a lot of the coffins in wool fabric, and it's British wool, so she gets
I know
fabric.
you had
I got
some
some bits from her,
bits.
yes, and which actually Silvio has been sleeping on one big bit that she gave me, and he loves it. He
Yeah,
absolutely loves it. And the other smaller bits I'm going to take out and put round. But no, no, this is she has patterned, it's checked, and so if you have a look at her Instagram page, you'll see there, or
okay.
even her
I'll have a look.
website.
Thank you.
It she makes a load of and she buys it and gets it in there. So therefore you can then make, your own cover.
Patchwork cover.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. So anyway, there we go, Jamie. So we've gone really more or less on the same
Beds.
subject,
Sorry.
from beds to quilts to wool. So we have ended up from beds to
Yeah,
wool basically on that, and a lot more that we can say on things like that. So thank you to everybody for listening. Well, there is quite a few people now.
is there?
Yes,
Five,
yes.
six?
That's no, add a naught on, and then we're
Is
up to
there?
that. So yes,
Wow.
admittedly, I could probably do more on the analytics and the background and the essay, but I basically don't have time, and I don't really understand it. I have to invest a lot of time into researching what I need to do to up it. And same with YouTube. I could do a bit more.
Yes.
So that will have to
But
go to
it would
Guy.
be nice if these people that listen could share.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
would help us out rather than us
Absolutely.
do loads of marketing because we don't get paid for this.
No,
There's no,
we
we don't get
don't.
anything for this. But
No.
if they could share it and if
In
they
fact, we
could help
pay
it
to do
grow,
it, Jamie. We pay to do it because you
oh,
have to
don't they?
pay to be on the platform that then pushes it out. So it's
Oh, okay,
anyway.
do you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, thank you for listening. We will be back again in a couple of weeks, and hopefully, our cat, will have been released and outside. And just hope you have a good couple of weeks, and the summer will be on its way, and we'll be heading towards June, won't we, by then? So,
Nice,
good
lovely.
grief. Never mind.
Yeah.
The nights will soon be drawing in.
Oh,
21st of
that's a
June.
cheery thing.
Well, I like the dark, so and with that, that takes us back to sleep and beds, actually. Jamie, great to talk to you, and I will speak to you again in a couple of weeks.
And you, Jill. Speak soon.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.